You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Dancing with the Stars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Dancing with the Stars After Show.
I don't even know what's going on here. But welcome to Dancing with the Stars. We've got baby Trebunskaya, I think, making an appearance. I'm Kristyn Burtt.
With the girls.
With the girls.
Hello.
The girls are looking good.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. I know, right? What a way to start the show. I've got no bump to show, so I'll let you show it off. But we're calling it the 9 Show from now on. JC Rubio, our red carpet reporter for AFTERBUZZ, called it the 9 Show because we got lots of 9s last night.
Ooh,
so that's
the 9 Show.
The 9 Show.
The 9 Show.
Instead of Dancing with the Stars. Or
we
Dancing with the
talked about
Nines.
it last week.
And we had more. So we are now officially Dancing with the Nines. Let's introduce everyone. I'm Kristyn Burtt. You guys know that. Next to me, Anna Trebunskaya.
Hi.
All right. Well, and then across from me, Jake DuPree.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree.
Suri Serano.
What up?
Guess what? We've got a great guest in studio. First time here, Tyne Stecklein.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you here.
Tynes of the world.
Tynes of the world. She is one of them.
Yes.
How many others are there? Like a few hundred?
There's like a couple hundred on Facebook.
Nice. Are they all female or some males?
I think it's a mix. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. A
That's
unisex
a good male name, though, too.
It's a cool name.
It would definitely work. All right, it was share night, you guys.
Oh, yes.
And amazing. You know, it's kind of ironic that we had the share expert in studio tonight. I love this. You've performed with her quite a bit.
Yeah, I worked in her show in Las Vegas in Caesar's Palace for a year, and then I did burlesque with her, and I did a music video for her earlier this year, so it was awesome to have her on the show.
And then you got to do the duet.
Yeah, I got to do the duet with Tony, which was so fun.
beautiful.
I know.
Thank you.
Well, let's kick it off. Talk about that opening number, Believe, choreographed by Doriana Sanchez. And you might have a little insight on this that you could tell us about the whole opening number.
Yeah, I think that's one of her favorite songs and numbers to do. So we actually did that number in the show in Vegas, and some similar choreography. I think they've revamped it a little bit since then, but yeah.
It was a fun opening number,
It was
too.
cool.
Because you're
I
like,
like that she
share.
descended from the heavens,
I
like
know.
amazing.
There's no other way she should have come in other than from the heavens.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you're Cher.
I was hoping that at some point someone else was going to use that in their choreography, like during the dances, but
No,
there's
it's
still time.
just
There's still
for Cher.
time. There's still time.
This is just for share.
Did you all love her outfits?
I did.
Yes.
I don't know.
Like a
she's just
glorified
Cher.
drag queen. I loved it.
She's great.
It was good. It was
and
good.
she looks, as we said, she looks amazing.
Amazing.
She looks
Ridiculous.
like not a day over 40, honestly.
Obscenely ridiculous.
It's great. It's great. She looks
Good investments.
I love her. I
We all
love
need
her.
to
I want
know
her
about
people.
those. Yeah.
I want our people. Give me the number of our people.
secret? Yes, we want to know your secret. Let's kick it off. We've got a lot of dancing to talk
Oh,
about.
yes.
And
So much.
Corbin and Karina did the Argentine tango to burlesque. So it's going to be some interesting songs that were danced to some ballroom. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. So,
Yeah.
But I gotta just say, I really thought it was beautiful and gorgeous. I know you guys are gonna, the expert over here is gonna pick it apart, and you as well.
gonna
But
go,
I really did like it.
the lifts, those lifts that they did in that number, I thought were beautiful. There's a photograph of Karina just sort of like suspended in air, like Corbin was holding her, and I was like, that's kind
I
of pretty.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He looked a little tired. I will say it was for him. It wasn't as spot on as he's been, especially after last week. But I think that this is the time when fatigue sets in for all the dancers. You got 1,000 numbers to remember, and it's stressful. What did you think of the dance?
Well, first of all, I was like, why is she dressed that way? Because she's wearing underwear. But then it's like burlesque. Duh. Okay, that totally made sense. I was like, Karina, girl, put some clothes on. No, she looked fantastic. But I do feel, and this is the thing, because they showed in the little video clip before that he was actually busy doing some other stuff. His day job as producing the movie and everything. so he couldn't really practice as much. And she's like, 5, 6, 7, 8, and he's like, hello on the phone. Like, is it happening?
Yeah.
So I think that really showed. To me, it wasn't as spot on and as clean as we used to see in Corbin, and he didn't have. When Carrie Ann said, I think you brought your A game performance, I didn't agree. I think it was like a B plus, maybe. That's what I did. It was under-rehearsed for me. And I love Argentine tango. It's one of my favorite dances for celebrities, especially for male celebrities, because that's when they can really support the girl. And all they have to do is look good and get into the character of the dance. And then the professional girl will do the job and be sexy, fast, slinky, light, kick the legs, whatever. So it's a really kind of a fun dance in that way. And I was a tad bit disappointed.
Yeah, I was completely underwhelmed by everything that happened. I was like, where's all the content? Like I missed some of the content
Where's
for him.
Of the Argentine tango.
And I thought that for him he would really get into this dance, but for me it was just like it was like a Disney Argentine tango, like kind of like light. I mean, the song, I don't know.
Argentine Tango Light, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, just for me, I just expected a lot from him. I expected a lot more from him.
We wanted
on that.
real fat and juice, and it
wasn't
like fat-free.
It wasn't, it should have been like week 2. Like, this is like a week 2 dance,
Well,
not
and I
a
think
week.
where we saw the cha-cha last week, where he was so
good.
On.
So
amazing.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
What did you think, Tyne?
Well, I still think that he's doing really intricate stuff, you know, compared to some of the other celebrities. Like, I still think he's doing really hard dancing, so I thought he did great. But I love that song, and I think it's so sexy, and I think there could have just been a little more of that element in it.
The drama.
But
Drama.
I think he can pretty much do anything you give him.
I think so too. I think we've seen that all season long, and I think also our expectations are up here for
Yes.
Chris, and that's the other thing. And he delivered probably here, which for most other people would have been incredible.
Yeah.
So that's our expectations are really, really high.
They are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Guess what? We're starting with the 9s, kids. 999, 27.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know what scores
The
mean
9
anymore.
week.
I have to be honest. I think we only had 8s and 9s last night, so that was it. Leah and Tony doing the Viennese waltz to "I Got You, Babe," and I've got to say, I really thought that she was feeling the music, and I thought that she was just really enjoying the entire piece. She understood the story behind it, and it meant something to her, and you could definitely see that.
I think that she let the enthusiasm of meeting share and like the expectation of that, it worked in her favor, where some of the other people, I think we thought that maybe they kind of
Freaked out a little.
stayed back a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But I was so excited for her. I was like, this is the Leah that I want to see, and she is progressing every single week, and I thought the content that he gave her was fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah. She looks so beautiful, and she looks great. I feel like she's like slowly tightening up. You know,
Tightening
I
is
loved
always
her
good.
outfit.
We all love that. I love it when I tighten.
I did like her costume. I enjoyed. It was one of my favorite performances from this couple of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
me
definitely agree. I know, and you know the story, because you obviously Cher connected with it too. I mean, there's a huge history with that song and everything else. You know, it was interesting. I read Carrie Ann's blog today, and she said she thought that Leah was not improving enough at this level, and she felt like she really needs to step it up if she's going to stay in the competition. And I thought it was a little honest of Carrie Ann to say that. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's weird because she is and she isn't. I think she is improving, but maybe not as fast as some of the other people.
Right.
Like, I think the most improved person actually left the show yesterday.
Brandt, yeah.
Completely.
Okay, so he improved a lot, but then people didn't vote for him. People are voting for Leah, and we discussed that last week, that I'm sure she has such a following, people can really relate to her, that if she can touch people on an emotional level as she did last night, I think she's doing good. Of course, she still needs to improve, but she's doing a really good job. I thought the lines were beautiful. I thought they said, oh, she was too fast. I didn't see it. I think she stayed on time. And I was in the studio as well as watching it home on TV. So to me, she could have moved more. She could have taken bigger strides.
Do you think she could have extended through her lines a little bit more, though?
Everything could have been more. Like she
Yeah,
gave
I agree.
maybe a 6 and we won a 10. So just that. But it's not like she didn't do it right. She did everything right. Just now it's like expand all that.
We got a lot of notes too, or from the judges, like I was judged last night. The judges gave it a lot of notes about timing issues on the music, and I wonder, is it because we weren't using but we don't use traditional music like on Dancing with the Stars? Did Cher throw people off, or people just starstruck and they were like, I don't know.
I think a lot of them actually were. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I know some pros, like, they were more amped up and more excited to perform.
Did you guys all feel that last night with Cher in the studio?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone,
yeah, there was a different energy in the ballroom, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of people walk up to the table and they'd be like, hi.
Yes.
I mean, at least you're like, oh, I know her on a different level than everyone else, so.
Yeah, but still, there's just such an expectation of, like, wanting to do it justice that she's there, so I think everyone really felt that, you know, last night. It made it even
funny to watch. I mean, it really was. I don't even feel like we had that with Stevie Wonder last season.
No, but he wasn't judging, I think, because she was judging.
Yeah. That's true.
She was judging as well as performing. And it was literally, to me, last night's show, it was all about Cher. It was like the Cher show. Mm-hmm. Okay.
They called it Cher Week.
It wasn't Dancing with the Stars. It was the Cher show.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
With the Cher.
Dancing with the Cher. Dancing for Cher. Dancing for Cher.
For Cher. So we did 8, 9, 8, and that was 25. I don't know what score is anymore, you guys.
9.
I know.
I know.
It was 9, I think, was from Cher. It was for the story, I think.
Yeah.
And that was on an acting level, on like the story level, on the emotional level. Absolutely. I mean, Lee is a great actress. So.
I think she probably was giving her the 9 too for like, thank you for getting out of Scientology, because Cher always makes like a little dig at Scientology.
She does.
So she got a Scientology point.
Yeah.
I love it. Brandon Pita.
Point for getting out. Point for getting out.
Brandon Pita did the Foxtrot. Shoop Shoop was the song. Yes, go do it.
Wow. About her costume.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Oh my God.
Body.
It was just like,
He is gorgeous.
that was fierce. Sorry.
No,
The outfit and the hair. The hair.
Oh.
That little
Jeez.
headpiece.
The little headpiece is so fierce.
That was just.
All right, I'm going to put Tyne on the spot for the first one. What did you think of the dance?
I thought it was good. You know, I think Brant, like you said, is the most improved at this point. I think every week he works so hard and really shows that. I was really sad to see him go home because I don't really think he was expecting it, and I think that he's just really pushed himself through this whole process. So I felt really bad that they left.
And I think the attitude has been one of the things has been my favorite about him. Like we were joking last week, he's in his concrete backyard, which we all have in Los Angeles pretty much, but rehearsing, and he was so into it and he gave 100%, and I just love that about him because I think he just gave himself to the process and said whatever happens, happens, but I didn't expect him to leave this week either. So
I didn't either. I thought that the dance, I think this was his best dance that he had so far. There were still moments where I was like, oh, just like really let go and like wiggle with it a little bit. But I don't know. There was just some, because he's still a little stiff, but that's okay because some people like that. All right.
Did this show just take a dirty turn?
It did. It's Cher night, okay? It's Cher night, so we have to go there.
She got totally dirty. I'll talk about it.
Go.
I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it in the next couple.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yes, she did.
Yeah.
So I'm leading you in. I'm segueing.
Yeah, we're segueing. 99927. What?
It was a good routine.
It was.
It was a really good routine. The routine was great. It was very musical. He did look stiff at times. I think the arms were like, and when Carrie Ann said, "Oh, you need to be a leading man." Pita is such a fierce dancer. She gives 200%. She's like the female version of Mark. A little bit, but way sexier and way prettier. Sorry, Mark. With love. With love.
But I thought they were well matched.
You know what I mean? So I feel her intensity is like here, and for him to match that, it's kind of hard. So I think if he would have danced with maybe somebody else, that was like phenomenal. The energy level, and he went for every line, and he was there, and he held her, and he committed to every move. Which what we love about him is that he's just so committed and driven and hardworking. I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah,
I am too.
I
Me
have
too.
to say.
And it was funny because the first couple weeks I was like, I'm not sure I get this couple. And then as the weeks progressed, I was like, oh, I love them together.
And then they were kissing every single week, so I'm like, yes, please keep them.
Showmance. Showmance. Elizabeth and Val, bang bang, doing some jazz. Okay, let's talk about the song change because you're halfway through the process and they switch everything around. How hard is that, choreographing and...
Well, I know that Elizabeth said yesterday, she was kind of telling us about that, and she said that she just really wasn't feeling what they were doing, and so even though it was kind of a last-minute thing, she just really wanted to be invested in it, which I think you need to be. If you're going to get out there, you have to really love what you're dancing to and feel it. And I think it's difficult because, with jazz and contemporary being on the show, there's not really set rules, and I think jazz, there's like so many different styles of jazz today, and I think they took it kind of an edgier, more like open route, which is cool. Like, it's cool that they did something different, but then it makes it really hard to critique as far as like pointing the feet and stuff like that because it wasn't really that style of jazz, so...
Yeah, and then Carrie Ann said you need to point your feet. So was she supposed to be pointing her feet, or was she? You know what I mean? It is. It's when it's
hard.
subjective.
Yeah.
I wasn't in love with this piece. I have to be honest. I felt like, I understand where Elizabeth is a lot, and I'll tell you why, because she's a very type A personality, as I'm going to guess, and I grew up the same way. I grew up dancing myself, and you're constantly driven to perfection.
Are you a firstborn?
I am a firstborn.
That's what they say about firstborns.
Well,
type
baby, Trebunskaya.
Yes.
But I
I'm so
understand.
screwed with my child. This child is gonna drive me crazy.
Love it.
Giving it back. But here's the thing, and this is for dance. I had trouble letting go because I was such a technician, and I think that sometimes Elizabeth gets like everything in her head of I got to do the steps and I'm going to do this and I'm going to give my all but sometimes I think she's trying to please other people instead of just going, let's just give over to the process. And I feel like I understand a little bit of that, and it's tough to let go.
I think that's why so many people were like, it doesn't look like she's enjoying being there.
Yeah.
Because it looks like she's just so tight in herself. And there's things in this dance that I really liked a lot. I thought that she really let go and like was being crazy. Like on the wall, I really liked.
Yep.
But then there were points where she was separate from him, like the kicks and everything. And I'm just like, if you can't get your leg like all the way up, and I had a problem with Leah with that too. If you can't really extend to that leg, I don't want to see it. I just don't. It's like that's just how I feel.
But it's true.
It ruins the line.
Yeah.
I've kind of been struggling with this couple all season, and this didn't help for me. I in her piece before when she was, I related to her because I can put too much pressure on myself. So I related to that part of her, which was great, as an audience, member. But I just can't get into their connection. I can't.
And I think
struggling with it.
We're all struggling, and like he and Kelly, Val and Kelly Monaco had incredible chemistry. He
And
had Zendaya. They were adorable brother and sister, and I feel you don't have chemistry with every partner you get. I mean, you guys can probably speak to that. Everyone you dance with is not magic, and everyone I've co-hosted with is not always magic, and you're working through it, and sometimes you can feel that work, and I think that's what's happening.
I think they're going to be in jeopardy.
I honestly thought they were going to be the ones maybe to go this week.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
Although I did call it was going to be Brant.
Oh yeah, you did.
Last week.
You did, yeah. We were all in Leah, I think. 898 for a 25, and I every week some weeks she has a breakthrough, and then I feel like we backslide. I feel bad about it though because I'm like I want.
I do too.
I want
the best for everybody. You want everybody to do their best and do well. Everybody. Every week they work so hard.
But I guess I was so excited about it. I was like, this is the girl. Like, this is my pick.
This is jazz.
Yeah.
This is her thing.
And
but you have to love her though, because I mean, every time the pros are there, she asks all of us, like, do you have any critique? Like, is there anything I can do? Like, she's so hungry for it, and you have to. Like, I really respect her for that. Like
she's taking the constructive criticism. And last night you even saw her. She was really eager for the feedback.
Yeah,
it's a good student.
Sherry gave her good feedback. She said, "I like when women don't take from anybody."
I do too.
I know. So it's been an interesting journey with her because every week I'm like I'm with her and then I'm like, but I do understand that mentality. So I get it.
It's like a modern woman. mentality. It's like I think a lot of women can understand that.
Yeah.
You know,
I think we all relate on some level.
You trying like to be a perfectionist. It's like being the feminist society mentality.
Yeah. And she's a mom too, so she's balancing being a mom and she's balancing a job and
multitasking on the really high level.
Yeah. In front of America every single week, millions. It's hard. It's not easy. The couple of the season, Bill and Emma.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy cow, doing some disco.
Emma's outfit.
Just strong and up.
That booty.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
Stop. I just looked at this couple and I was like, I can't believe I had to look up how old Bill was because I knew I was like, he's somewhere between 45 and 50 something, and he's 56. He was doing some pretty darn good lifts.
Yes,
It was so good. I was screaming.
And I just can't stop smiling. There's so much joy. It just makes me happy. It makes me also forget sometimes if there's not like a pointed toe or something. Really.
Like what Carrie Ann said.
Yeah.
She feels good watching him.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all do. I mean, he just makes me so happy, and I'm so glad that he is still on the show. Like, I'm so glad he's not voted off. I wish he'd make the final 4 or final 3 because I would love to see their freestyle. Because you know it would be cuckoo, crazy, amazing.
God,
It'd be so good.
Hilarious.
And they would just have big smiles on their face, and you'd be like, that was like the best thing I've ever seen.
I think I feel like he's one of the most appreciative people for this entire experience that's ever been on the show. I will say that. Because he looks like he comes out there and he just has a ball. And he's like, I'm going to support Emma no matter what she does, and I'm just going to do it. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I feel like backstage.
Oh, he's so great. Like, he's so sweet. Like, everyone says he's kind of like a father figure, you know, on the show. And I love it because every time he gets out there, you can tell he just, like, feels the music and whatever his way is. But, like, from his head to his toe, it's like, it's just in there. And they were doing, like, legit disco moves and legit disco lifts that aren't hard, you know? So I give Emma props for putting that stuff in there. And he did a great job with it.
Yeah, his favorite routine.
Favorite
routine.
Yeah, it was so entertaining.
It's so entertaining, so in character, so just pure fun. Definitely cheesy, but still,
It's disco.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It was so good. It's my favorite routine of the night.
I know.
Me too.
I was just can't stop. Can't stop. And Emma's done a great job with him. And you know, it is so hard when you have different levels and like how do you approach it? And her being a new pro too.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Bill Nye. I mean, what a challenge! That was a challenge.
It was. He was very eager, you know, so eager and willing to learn, but it was hard. It didn't, you know, he's so intelligent in his way, but it didn't really correlate to dance steps. So
Creative. You have to tap into his creative side.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he had the injury too on top of all this, so you had to be creative in terms of what he could and couldn't do.
Extremely creative, yeah. Last week.
That
No,
was
I
pretty
loved
smart,
that
though.
jazz routine. That jazz routine was amazing.
Thank you.
I love that.
I know, but you come out of the gate too with like the #1 video on YouTube your first week as pro with Bill Nye, the science guy.
That was pretty crazy. And he was, I mean, he, like I said, was so eager and so sweet. Like, I loved working with him. But, you know, he was really hard on himself because he was like, I want to get it. I want to do it right. I want to get it. And it's a challenge, you know, and you have to be super patient. I was more patient with him than he was willing to be with himself, you know. He just wanted to get it right. I think that's mental, you know,
intellectual side of him probably.
Yeah.
Science mentality.
He was there last night too, wasn't he?
He was there watching the show.
How is he doing with his little like injuries and all that?
I think it's just a slower healing process than he wants it to be. Like, I think he wants to be back dancing. He really wants to come back for the finale and do a little something, and he's still walking with the immobilizer. So still,
you could do the robot dance.
Yeah,
you could.
Yes.
You know,
always do that.
Do like a pirate.
I just want to see your extension in
I
your
know. I
legs.
was just like, if you can do this, we're good. We'll just be. I'll call the producers over at ABC. I just want to
Let
see
him know.
this.
Let him know.
888 for 24. Yeah. Hey, great.
Yeah. Hey.
This was probably one of my favorite dances of the night. Jack and Cheryl doing the tango to the beat goes on.
I love that song.
I just have to say this.
Tango dancing pimp.
Tango dancing pimp. Doing his little rond de jambes on the floor.
Yes.
I know. I died. They were good.
I know. I was dying too. I was thinking of you.
They were so delicate and light.
Oh, God.
You have something to say. Go.
I love him. I think this was the only thing I wish that he would have just like lightened up in his face a little bit, because the song is kind of cute and silly, but the dance has to be intense. And I was just like, connect with Cheryl for a minute. I just wanted him to be like in it, you know? But I thought he was fantastic, and I just love him. I love him. I think he can do no wrong in my eyes.
We all love him.
Yeah.
Very much.
The lightness on his feet is like I still am
remarkable.
baffled by it. I mean, you see it in studio too.
Yeah, and his posture is always really great, you know, and it's,
as I'm slouching.
yeah, like it's very impressive, and I think that he's always just really focused. You know, he's so focused that he's doesn't want to mess up. So like I don't even mind that sometimes he looks a little serious because he's just so focused. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was fantastic.
I liked how he mentioned in the little video that he thought it would be the cheesiest thing he'd ever done, and he really is into it. And you could see that's the thing on this show. People who are really into it and they put their heart out there. You see them like Brent, like Bill, like Jack. You just see it. They enjoy it, and we enjoy it more because of that. You know, there's like, oh, you know, that kind of feeling. So I think he did fantastic. Again, tango, not his type of dance. I think his type was more like the foxtrot, which is a little bit lighter, and the jive last week, which he did so good at. Tango was not necessarily his dance, but I think he did much better with tango than he did with paso doble, which we talked about. That was like
Not his best.
one of his sort of downfalls. Yeah.
Do you know what I think is interesting, though? When you start the season out, this year was really one of those where there were like these top dancers here, and then people you were like, oh, I don't know how they're going to dance, but it's really interesting to be here. What is it, week 9?
It's coming up.
We're in week 8. This is
eight.
week 8. So it's interesting to see that some of these dancers are still around. I mean, I was like, I think you and I discussed it, and I was like, Bill Engvall, he'll be up there week 2, done by, and he's not. So it's so lovely to see surprises like that, too.
Yeah.
And we've seen a couple dancers leave. So we lost Christina and Snooki. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how it all plays out. Personality cannot be forgotten. We got more 9s. Guess what? 9s, kids. 9, 27.
It's the 9 week.
Welcome to the 9 show. We're going on to Derek and Amber doing the rumba to If I Could Turn Back Time. Everyone's silent on that. Okay. I think that was. Okay, no, you go. That was the first silence on Derek.
I know, right? But you go first.
No, you go.
Okay, I just wanted to. There's been so many comments directed at us about that we're like the Derek fan club, which just makes me want to vomit. Not because I don't love Derek and his choreography, but we aren't the Derek fan club. We love all of the pros, and they're all incredible. But we haven't had a week where we're like, what are you doing, Derek? Right?
Yeah,
to be honest.
exactly.
And fair. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Well, there you go. Last week, Jake had a comment on Derek.
I know.
This week, we're passing it around.
Yeah. On the next.
Now, I heard that he was told that he had to dress like a sailor. They wanted this concept like her video. So,
Really?
for you guys as choreographers, like when they tell you a concept or they highly suggest something, which I'm sure it's been done before for you guys, does that affect? Like, are you like, yeah, or are you kind of like, or
You just got to be a good sport about it. I
just
think.
run with it?
Yeah. You just go with it and try to put your ideas into it as well, or the celebrity, but yeah.
I mean, and this one is so specific because that video is so iconic as well. He didn't really want to dress as a sailor, is what I kind of understood from his interview.
So he decided to just undress.
Well, he said that his shirt was supposed to stay on, and that Amber just happened to rip it off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love that. That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Real convenient.
Wink, wink.
And that's why you had a perfectly oiled torso.
Good point.
Yes.
That's why you had shimmer makeup all over your torso. And
But maybe it was just supposed to be ripped open in the front.
Like under armpits were clean too. That's exactly why.
Well, Tyne, did you see a dress rehearsal?
I did see that.
Did he
dress
have the shirt
rehearsal.
off in dress rehearsal?
He did. He did have the shirt off in dress.
Look at that. Rumor squash on AfterBuzz TV.
But I thought it was really cute. I mean, not the shirt so much, but just the guys, and then her the little face slap thing right before they started was super cute. And what I loved about Amber in this, I love dancers that, not even, the celebrities, but dancers that really sit in the pocket of music. Sometimes dancers are right on the beat or tend to rush it. And Amber, I think, because of what she does. She's so musical. She just like really hears it, and she was just like like all of her hip action, every accent just like sat into the beat so nicely, and I loved that about it.
And that's a good point, because referencing back to a lot of the judges were like, you were ahead of the music, or I wanted you to slow down, which was a big note last night. It's good to see that, you know, there is someone that, you know, can hear that. I think Jack is probably another person that has some good
Jack
musicality.
Good musicality.
And everything. What did you think of the dance? I have to be honest, I had to watch it a second time. I got a little distracted by Derek. I honestly, like, I was like, I tweeted out last night, I'm like, distracted by undulating from the hips. It was, and I kind of watched him more than I watched her, and I said, I need to go back and watch her.
I always watch him more than anyone else, but but I hear you.
I had to go back and watch it a second time too, because he was just like all in white, and it was just there, you know,
shirt.
Hello, and but going back and watching her, she truly, the music, I don't know if it really necessarily went for the rumba for me, because I felt like it was too accented and it didn't have like the through line through it and the flow, but I thought that she looked amazing, and her body's looking so good. Her legs and everything.
Her outfit's great. Her body looks great.
Even though I wish I know the rumba kind of stays in the same space, but I wish they would have used more of the floor. I felt like it was kind of stuck in a place for a minute.
A little bit. I see what you're saying. I know you guys. I've seen Derek without a shirt maybe a few times. Not like that, guys. Because he took off his shirt for like Joanna Krupa doing Lambada, and then for
Kelly Pickler.
I mean, he's like every single season there's going to be 1 week.
All the boys do.
There's going to be 1 week where every single professional is not, except maybe Tristan. Will not have, and maybe Tony.
I don't think he's ever taken it fully off.
Open. Like there's going to be the younger guys will take their shirt off and say, "Hey, I've been working out." So I was not distracted by his torso at all, although it's admirable. Now, I looked at her. I think I'm absolutely agree. Her musicality is spot on. She looks beautiful. That outfit and the hair and the makeup, everything on her looked just fierce. And I really like that she got into character, and Bruno kind of commented on that. Of course, Bruno went into his Bruno world where he's like, you completely took over and you were spinning him around. Oh, you dirty boy, blah, 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 blah. But she did. She took the control. She was in command, which I think was kind of the point of the routine. I totally got that. Like, she's that... she's that the admiral's wife that just comes in and says, "You and you, shirts off, and let me see which one I would like. Which one of you will fan me?" So it was a little bit like that, but it was good. I actually was really impressed with her. On a technical note, I wish she would brought her feet together a little more often and work through her feet, like work through her ankles, because I think she has such a pretty feet. She has such a good leg action that in rumba especially, like, you gotta have that.
We've talked a lot about her feet this season too, so
it's on and off. Like,
Well, what do you think? Because she's had her knee injury.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like it's gotten a little worse. That she has a slight tear, and that she had been in her knee brace. This was the first time she danced without it. Is she perhaps plateauing a little bit? What do we think because of that knee injury? Because she's already been good so far. Or are we seeing the improvement week to week?
I think there's definitely an improvement in different areas. I think this week was a really good sort of character take charge, and her upper body fluidity was really beautiful.
Better than it's been,
Yeah, so...
But I'm expecting, I was like with Carrie a little bit, I was expecting her to really come out and do this a little bit more. So maybe she'll take that note and next week super deliver.
And I've got to imagine an injury, you're a little hesitant, a little...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But she is the type of performer that will no doubt improve every week.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, like, her last week was fantastic. Her paso doble was like...
Did she wear the knee brace in rehearsal and just not wear it for the performance?
I don't remember seeing it, but I think that Amber's the type of person, though, like, regardless of how hurt she is or how bad her knee hurts, she will kill every performance she does, you know, regardless. Like, I know she's had to cancel rehearsal days, like full days, because she's in so much pain.
Wow.
And then she still gets out there and, you know, just...
And a lot of people have been saying that have come to visit us in studio. They're like, she's good in rehearsal, but then she just like turns it on when it comes to performance time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good quality to have.
It
Props
is.
to her.
Yeah, I know. If you can do it, might as well. 99927. There you go. There you have it. Before we move into the second part of the show, we just want to remind everyone about iTunes. Jake, take it away.
Yeah, so you can go to iTunes and rate us. We would like 5 stars because we work hard and we hope that you appreciate it. And leave us comments too because we love to read them. Kristyn and I sometimes get on there and give you a little comment, beep, bop back. All right, and you can just download us. If you want to download it and listen to it on your phone, you can download podcast with an S on your phone and listen to us. So that's it. Bye.
Thanks, Jake. Good job. Yeah, very good job. But let's talk about your duet with Tony. Because this is where Cher came and did another costume change.
Gorgeous.
I know.
Loved it.
So Doriana Sanchez choreographed that as well.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so fun. You know, that's like the background that I come from is like, you know, the lyrical contemporary stuff. So it was awesome to get to dance with Tony and get to dance for Cher, you know, who I have this existing relationship with. It was so much fun.
And you were saying, because we didn't see the entire dance on TV, but you were saying that there were some really great lifts that we missed.
Yeah, they missed a couple. Like Tony has me in like a full overhead press where I'm in a split at the end, and you missed that. So
Yeah,
he was
I
like
remember
doing all
that.
this hard work for nothing. You didn't see it, but yeah.
Poor guy.
I know.
Well, it wasn't that hard of a work to lift you.
Yeah.
He has a
Well,
bad back.
I think,
Got back
he has-
issues,
yeah.
you know.
but like her.
She's teeny tiny.
yeah.
And she knows how to lift herself. You know,
That's
she's,
true.
The girl is a pro.
I was saying, I
true.
wish they kind of, for dances like that, I wish they gave us another camera angle and put it on YouTube so we could all see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
ABC, hey. I know.
just a thought.
And what was it like? I mean, when you see Cher, when's the last time you saw Cher? You worked with her earlier this year, right?
Yeah, I did her Woman's World music video, I think in like January, but I saw her outside like kind of in passing, and she was like, is that Tyne? And she ran up and gave me like the biggest hug, and then like pulled me away and looked at me and like hugged me again, and it was just like so sweet. And that's so cool. Like every next job I've done with her, I'm like so excited that she remembers me and knows my name, you know. I'm
great.
like, that's,
And for anyone that didn't know, you were 19 when you first started working for Cher.
yeah, I
Wow.
was 19. I was like
Holy
a
cow.
year into my professional career, and I was the youngest one on the cast by quite a bit, so it was so exciting.
Yeah, but no casino activities. That's the problem.
Not much
not allowed.
fun Vegas activity. But
So, do you know if she's a fan of the show, if she actually watches the show?
I don't know, but I'm sure she watched it, you know, when Chaz was on, I'm sure.
Right, yeah.
Her
She's-
tweets
she
during
was
that
in
whole
the-
thing were hilarious.
Yeah.
During
was-
Chaz's
Yeah.
stint on the show.
And she
Yeah.
came that season, I
She
know.
came in
did.
the studio that season. That's true.
Yeah.
And Chaz said he was going to sort of prep her for her judging and everything,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
what Cher needed to say to everyone. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. All right, let's get into this whole dance challenge. Dun dun dun. Amber and Derek, of course, had immunity because they were at the top of the leaderboard, cumulative scores. And so it's always interesting strategy when people start like who is going to pick and what. And Corbin was second on the leaderboard, so they went and picked Val and Elizabeth. And sometimes I think that that's good because you're like, I'm going for the challenge. And then Val and Elizabeth picked Cha-Cha, which I was thinking, why did they go for Cha-Cha knowing that he had such a good
Killed it
Cha-Cha?
the week before, yeah.
But I don't think it worked out badly for them. I think, you know.
It was really even, actually.
Yeah.
I think they went for not necessarily what was the best or worst dance for Corbin. I think they went for what was the best dance for us.
Yeah.
And Cha-Cha was the best dance for Elizabeth. I think one of her best dances in the past weeks. So
It was actually really fun to watch the two of them
Yeah.
compete. Corbin came out, you know, and then Elizabeth came out, and then they did a little dance together.
that was so great.
And poor Tom was like,
so
we're a live show. Come on,
Come on, guys.
I could watch that little improv right
That
there.
was so good.
That was really good.
That'd be interesting to make the celebrities improv together.
Oh, maybe
could be
that'd
a
be
mess,
next.
though.
That could be.
Yeah. But that's part of it, I guess.
But that would be a hot, fun mess for us to watch. I'm sure all the pros would appreciate, be like, yeah, why don't you go dance with another amateur? Maybe then you'll come back to me and like me a little more in the rehearsal.
You won't hate it that I'm like, we gotta rehearse.
Exactly.
Corbin came away with that win, but I did think it was
It's very even.
very
actually.
even.
Yeah, it could've gone
I would
either
not
way.
have been surprised if she would have won.
Yeah, I would have been fine with that, I think.
It was 50-50. It really was.
Yeah. And then we go to Brant, and they picked Leah and Tony, and they did the rumba. This I would like to talk a little bit more about this one because I kind of thought it was Brant. I've read a lot of comments online that a lot of people were okay with Leah winning that. So, Tyne, what did you think, the two of them?
I was okay with Leah winning that because, you know, I think they both did a great job, but I think Leah was doing a little more of the tricks with Tony and that kind of thing, whereas, you know, Peta and Brant did a lot, but I think a lot of it falls on Peta's shoulders, some of the stuff they did, whereas Leah's, you know, doing stuff that's hard, and
Tony can lead her through that.
Yeah, and Tony can lead her through it, but she has to hold her core, you know, on the spins and stuff. So I think that Leah deserved that. Plus, she gets very into that dance. She really gets into that sexy character. So I thought that was a good win.
Leah brought the sexy.
Yeah.
She did, actually. She had a really good hip action.
Yeah.
And we mentioned with Brand him being a little stiffer. He's a stiffer body. But she was very fluid and sexy and feminine. And I think this dance is all about that. And it is harder for the female celebrities to not outshine, but to shine just as much as the professional girls. It's really hard.
And I think that's why I watched Derek probably a little bit more in the rumba this week.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Suri, I know we had a little text conversation about it, so what did you think?
I was happy with Leah and Tony getting it. I know that you felt it was the other, but I was all season have been more of a Tony Leah fan than Brent and Peta. So
Who you're connecting with.
biased,
That's
but,
okay. It's okay.
yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right. Jake.
I really liked
wins.
Leah's. I like that she utilized some of the moves that she used in her previous rumba, like that leg down.
Yes.
I loved that. It was gorgeous.
And it was better. I think it was better yesterday than it was actually a few weeks back.
Definitely. I feel like she was more confident. And I liked that this challenge, I felt like put them on the spot and they didn't have time to overthink it in their head. That they just had to go for it. And I'm glad for that. For her especially.
She was probably really happy that the rumba was left at that point too. And then we go to Leah won that, of course. Jack and Bill doing disco.
It was.
Oh no! Come on, both of them is so much fun.
It was cute.
Yeah.
It's the disco Teletubby and like a next door neighbor at the
He's
wedding
huggable.
disco.
We love him.
I was screaming, I love Jack! I really was.
It was a disco and Teletubby, and then my uncle at the wedding discoing too.
After a cocktail. I think Bill actually got a little, and this is hard because remember, he had disco this week, and you're used to a song. Now you're taking some of those same moves and you're putting them to a different song.
Yes.
That's a hard adjustment unless you're already a dancer and you're used to that.
Yeah.
That was tough. And I think it looks like Emma wound up kind of stuck in a spin, and then I
was like, oh God.
goodbye, Emma.
That was so good.
But then you see him after, he's like, are you okay? He felt so bad.
He really got into character. Reminded me of all the Hollywood movies when they try to make fun of tango or something. They always toss the girl and she flies somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they look at the clock and then they catch her.
Okay, Jack or Bill and the disco. What did you think?
I think Jack. It's hard because I think Carrie Ann said, "Well, Bill, you just did the disco, so that's kind of unfair." But that doesn't fall. I mean, that's not their choice. And like you said, it's hard because it was a music change, and they were taking steps that they had just done. So I think it could have gone either way. But I thought Jack, he kind of got into that one. He looked like he was really enjoying himself. So
And you saw him with the lift too. He was like, "Ready and here we go."
yeah.
I was like, "Plie with your knees, you'll feel better."
Use your legs.
You can do it, kiddo.
I love both of them, I gotta say.
They're
Bill
just
and Jack.
fun. I mean,
Adorable.
so much fun. So Jack pulled that win, and then we go to kind of a surprise elimination, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
I guess Suri was the only one that was spot on with that.
But not, because I don't want to be.
No, but I think I don't think Brant was ready to leave. I don't think Brant was even thinking that it was his week or anything else like that. But
Really?
you think he knew?
He didn't think it was his week, but I think the last few weeks he was thinking all along, like, this could be the week. This could be the week. I mean, he talked about it like 2 or 3 weeks ago when he said, I just don't know if people are voting for me or not. Remember that? I think
That really
he
intense
had
moment.
that. I think he had that thing underneath his hard work all the time. Like he always felt like I have to please the judges and do a really, really good job on the day, so I get scored well because that's who I can rely on or what I can control. Because I don't know if people are voting for me or not. So,
Yeah, and I think now at this point, I guess you can expect anyone to go almost.
Yeah.
Because we saw Snooki leave last week, and she broke my heart when she left.
Yeah, so sad.
Her little sad zombie makeup, and everything. I still want to just give her a hug over that. It's so, yeah. But did anyone else? Was anyone else? I know you're not surprised.
No, but I mean, I didn't say I wanted him to go home.
No.
I just knew that it was going to be
You
him.
felt like it was the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wasn't surprised, obviously.
Were you surprised?
I just wish we could have seen more from him. I feel like even the coming weeks, if he was still around, we would have been a little bit blown away by him.
And every single number that they did together were so good.
Yeah.
They were so solid too, and I really enjoyed watching what outfits they'll wear.
I enjoyed
But
that
I did see on Instagram that that they were on Good Morning America and they were like, "Oh, this is our final goodbye," but maybe not. Maybe he's going to continue dancing. So I'm thinking maybe he's going to go on the cruise or something.
But everybody has to come back for the finale anyway.
Yeah.
He'll be back soon.
Right?
Yeah. But I'm
Were
thinking
you
there's other opportunities.
Were you surprised that Brant left, or?
You know, I think at this point in the competition, anyone can go any week for different reasons, you know? So I was sad for him because I think that he just works so hard. You know, he's obviously, like, young and fit, so he's very able, but for someone that had no dance background, I thought was awesome, like, from the beginning and just kept getting better, so I was disappointed.
His
for him.
improvement was really, it was
really
nice to see.
He was great.
Took all his notes, and he was a good student and everything
He was
else
a good
like
student.
that.
He was a good partner for her.
Yeah.
He really was so respectful and kind and just sweet. Like with everything how he treated her, like even in the rehearsals and the body language, he would get frustrated, but it was never like at her. Like he was always. You could always understand, oh, he's just frustrated.
Yeah.
But he always treated her with kindness and respect, and I love that.
And he wanted to deliver the best for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think they really got along well. It showed. It does show when you've got great chemistry.
Yeah.
Let's put Tyne on the hot seat. We've got some fan questions. Actually, I want to ask one question because the night before the cast was announced, a source told me that Tyne was going to be on the show. A little birdie told me. A little birdie. So how did you come to be? I know you've performed on Dancing with the Stars before, but how did you get on the show?
Yeah, you know, over the last, I'd say probably like 5-6 years now, I just developed a really strong relationship with the show. They would bring me on to do kind of like what I did for Cher yesterday, to dance for the artists, and I did a lot of the Macy's numbers when they had the results
I
show.
miss those.
Yeah, they were fun. And so I just developed a strong connection with the show and the producers, and, you know, there was some talk of me potentially, you know, becoming a pro, and so then I trained my butt off and did a crash course, you know, in ballroom, and I got picked up for this season.
Congratulations.
How did it feel when they
you.
called you and they said, okay, we have a partner for you? How did that moment?
It was like,
how would it? Was that like butterflies?
Yeah. I mean, I was so excited, beyond excited, but so nervous, you know?
Right.
So intimidated, I guess, you know, because it's my first season.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's almost like being proposed to.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, kind of.
I don't know, is it?
You're married.
Yeah. I don't.
It's like
it didn't feel the same
that,
to me.
I don't know. To me, it's like that feeling of not when they proposing, but right before when you like, okay, what's going on, and you kind of like, is he? It's that moment. It's not the actual because once you're like, oh, I know exactly what they're doing, but it's the right before when you get that feeling. It's almost like that because it's that anticipation but nervousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good though.
It's so good. It's a good feeling. Good nerve.
And then every season, you guys have to go through that again.
Go through the proposal again. Yes. Yes.
And it's, you guys don't find out till late. That's what I'm always. It's not like, oh, you know, we know that season 18's around the corner. We'll see you then. You guys wait a long time.
Well, unless you get pregnant, then you're like,
I won't be
that
there.
ain't happening.
Like, I got some 9 months.
I'll be dancing with my belly on my couch with an ice cream.
All right, let's get to a couple fan questions. Madeline, who I know is like a ginormous Tyne Stecklein fan, and it's also her 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. birthday.
You got Tyne for my birthday. I was like, yes. Just for you. Just for you. And she asked 6 questions, but we're going to cut that down. But, and this is really an important one. What was it like to work with Michael Jackson? Because you were on the This Is It tour. I gave everyone homework.
And then the movie.
Yep, the documentary, and but the Meet the Dancers thing was fantastic. I put it on my blog so everyone could go and watch it. But
thanks.
What was it like?
Oh gosh, it's still very surreal to me. Like the whole experience, you know, it's definitely. There's been so many jobs that I've loved and that I've been so thankful to be a part of, but I don't think anything will probably ever beat that for me. You know, I definitely did not expect to get that job at all. I was honored to even be asked to audition because it was you had
knew
to
Kenny
be invited.
Ortega though.
I did know Kenny. I had worked with Kenny and I had a good connection with him. But Michael was there at the final callback, like sitting in the room, basically hand selecting who we wanted to dance for him. So
And you were one of 2 female dancers. Let's just put it out. All the rest were men.
yeah, So
1 in a million.
Yep.
That's so cool.
it was absolutely amazing, and he was just fantastic. You know, so hands-on with every aspect of the show, and that's kind of rare. You know, there's not all artists know. You know what they want for everything, from the dancers to the music to the lighting to the
Costumes, everything, yeah.
every aspect. So yeah, it was very cool.
I know. I'm obsessed with Michael Jackson. Just that iconic, you know, the Thriller and Off the Wall to me is my favorite album.
Sure.
But gosh,
I remember watching, and This Is It, her walking across the stage, and I was like, oh, I wish I could be her.
Those legs, yes.
those legs, exactly.
Just to be that, or just to be
that girl.
just to be a fly on the microphone at that moment or something.
Yeah, and
on the wall.
How was it? And I don't want to get into the aspects of sort of what happened at post, after his death and everything. But what was that moment like when you heard that he had passed away? Because you guys had been with him really late rehearsing.
We had been with him until about midnight the night before, and I actually was like pretty much the last person on stage with him because we did Dangerous, the song Dangerous, and the last thing, Makia and I, the other girl, would alternate who was going to do it every night, but we would get on the lift on the stage with him and kind of get in like an embrace and travel down. So that was the last thing we ran. I was like in a hug with him the last thing of the night.
Wow.
And then we were at rehearsal the next day. Like we'd already been there for a few hours rehearsing, waiting for him to get there when we found out. So
devastating. I still won't ever forget where I was when I found out. And I had interviewed Chucky Clapout 4 days before.
Oh,
and he
wow.
was so excited about the tour. He was another one of the dancers, assistant choreographer to Kenny. And he kept talking about it. And I was like, this is so awesome. Because I'm like, if this does great in London, I'm like, they'll definitely bring it back over here to Vegas or something.
Yeah.
And I just was, in my head, I was already like, I'm getting tickets. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And we all know how that, so.
Yeah, we were, I think everybody were heartbroken.
Yeah, it really is. It's tough.
it's like the whole world, like the whole planet was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
It was
it's a tragedy. It's just a tragedy.
Because he was such a huge star, not only in America, but truly a world star that I think everybody just would like.
I don't think we'll see an icon like that ever again in our lifetime.
No.
So, Vivi, all the way from France, has a great question. Being a pro on Dancing with the Stars, has it opened other opportunities for you, dance-wise?
I don't know, because I'm still so heavily involved in the show right now, and just love being there every week, and so that's my focus right now. But I feel like it definitely could. I mean, the exposure is so fantastic.
Right.
It's really rare. I've done a lot of TV and film with dance, but you're never by yourself getting your name said on national television. You're usually a group of many dancers, backup dancing. So the exposure is just fantastic. So I'm sure it could open doors.
And I saw you in the Virgin America New
Yes,
Safety video.
I love that video.
It's so cool,
It's so
right?
cool.
I think John
It's a cool
Chu just is amazing and did an amazing job with it. And they had so many different types of like trickers and dancers and.
That contortionist girl was amazing.
Yeah.
With Christopher
So good.
Scott, that was also cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. Hector had a ton of questions about Michael Jackson. We kind of answered all of these, how the experience was. So, Hector, I hope you got your questions answered. And I just want to say, I want to shout out to Jonathan because he every week makes these awesome hashtags. And this week's hashtag was Tyne is mighty fine.
Well, thank you. That's cute.
He'll create a whole list of them off of the show as well. So be on the lookout for them. We're going to go into predictions. Who's going home next week? I'm putting Anna.
Now, you're
You're on the hot seat tonight first.
Predictions.
Elizabeth or Jack?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that. Elizabeth.
I'm
and
gonna
Jack.
say Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say Elizabeth, but I don't know. I don't know.
But that's the thing. We don't know.
We don't know.
We can
Guessing.
say whatever, blah, blah,
Tyne?
blah. And
Tyne.
Oh, do I have to?
yeah. It's a tradition.
Not
It's
who
a
you
tradition,
want,
but
who
it's
you
still-
think.
Not who you want, because you just at this point it's.
You see, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe Jack. Maybe.
We don't know. When he was in the bottom in Jeopardy, we don't know whether
Yeah.
he was actual part of the bottom two because
I
they
don't
never let you know. But
Right.
we don't know. We don't know. Gosh, this has been a tough.
So hard.
It is so hard. It's hard to see everyone go at this
It's getting
point.
harder and harder and harder.
I know. All right. Well, you guys tell us, everyone, where we can find you. Jake, we'll start with you.
You can find me on Twitter at Jake_DuPree and on Instagram and Facebook at Jake DuPree.
Suri Serano.
At Suri Serano, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Anna Trebunskaya.
At A Trebunskaya on Twitter, Trebunskaya on Instagram, Anna Trebunskaya on Facebook, and a website.
Do you have a Twitter account for baby?
No, not yet.
You gotta work on that.
That's
Crazy.
I'm Kristyn Burtt. You can find me at Kristyn Burtt on Twitter. We want to thank Tyne for being
Yes,
here.
Tyne, thank you.
Where can everyone find you?
At Tyne Stecklein on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll see you all next week. I won't be in studio. I don't think Anna's in
I'm not
studio.
in the studio.
You kids are holding down the fort. We'll announce the guest in a little while. Have a good night, everyone.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.